All right, you guys, so in this lecture, we're going to be talking about count and non-count nouns. Now, the count nouns portion is more of a review, and we're going to be focusing more on non-counts. Count nouns can be separated into units and they can be counted. For example, I can have one book or I could have 100 books. I can count each book there is. So I could break the 100 books into smaller units of one. It really means that for these kind of nouns, you have a singular form and a plural form. You can add an S to it. For example, one phone, two phones. Notice that we can add an S to a phone because we can count it per unit. One dog, two dogs, or 100 dogs, or 1,000 dogs. One shirt, two shirts. However, there are some of the count nouns that take S at the end, but they only have a plural form, like clothes, like pants, jeans, shorts, pajamas. These are often used with some sort of qualifiers or quantifying words to show you that they are counted, which means a pair of pants, a pair of jeans, a pair of shorts, some pajamas, some pants, some clothes. It shows us that we can count them, and this is how we know that they are count nouns. We can break them up into individual units. However, pants usually have two legs, right? So it generally comes with as a plural form. Okay, so how are count nouns made plural? Generally, you guys know this, we add an S at the end of the word, or sometimes we add an ES. Okay, so count nouns are usually made plural by adding an S or an ES. One boy, two boys. One folder, two folders. One box, two boxes. One church, two churches. If it ends with a Y, then generally we change the Y into an IES to make it plural. Now, this is not the case for boys because boys or boy, the sound doesn't sound like a Y. Okay? So one family, two families, we change the Y into a softer sound, which is the IIES. One party, two parties, okay? If a vowel precedes the Y, okay, so like in boys, if the vowel is right before the Y, then we just add an S. So one toy, two toys. One donkey, two donkeys, okay? So if there's a vowel right before the Y, we don't need to make it softer, so we just add the S at the end. If the noun ends with a O, then we add ES to make it plural. For example, one potato, two potatoes. One tomato, two tomatoes. Notice we added an ES at the end. If the noun ends with F or FE, change the F to a V and add ES. For example, one thief, two thieves. One hoof, two hoofs. Or self and selves. Ourselves, myself, and ourselves. We add a V and an E and an S. So we change the F and we add an ES. We change an F to a V and we add an ES. Some count nouns have an irregular form, irregular plural form. Some of these are some of the common ones like foot, feet, person, people, tooth, teeth, criteria. All right, and you can always, if you want to find out what exactly is the plural form of the word, you can always check out like the Cambridge Dictionary, Oxford, Longman, Merriam-Webster, whatever dictionary that you want. Another thing is that with count nouns, you can use the articles a or an, whereas in non-count noun you can't, because a or an is a singular form. It just means one, a book. So now let's talk about non-count nouns. Non-count nouns are nouns that we cannot count. They exist in like an abstract quantities and they cannot be counted. For example, water. You can't count water. You can't break it down. You can count bottles of water, but you can't count water. You can count, for example, you can't count education because it's just one big education that has a lot of things in it, but you can count degrees. Okay? Most English nouns are count nouns. However, non-count nouns, we use them a lot in academic writing. Some of these things in the category of non-count nouns are things like work, equipment. So you don't say the works. We can't add works s to work unless we're using it as a verb. He works at the store. Equipment, homework, money, transportation, clothing, luggage, jewelry, traffic. Things like air, ice, water, fire, wood, blood. You can't say the bloods. You can't say the hairs. Gold, silver, milk, rice, coffee. You've got advice, happiness, and so forth. You guys can read them. Okay? And an activity that's ending with ing, we cannot count those. Another thing to keep in mind is that we cannot use a or an with non-count nouns. That doesn't work. Okay? Because you can't count. There's no one. You can't say a water. You say the water. The physics class, the astronomy, the biology, the advice. You can't say the advices. That doesn't work. Or a advices. That doesn't work. So that's it for this lecture. Let me actually, since we're on here, well, no, we'll make it into a separate video. I'll put the worksheet as a separate video, and let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will be happy to answer them. Again, you can comment below on this video, or you can message me or email me. Thanks, you guys.